Welcome back to. So, today's episode is kind of just going to be me yapping. I know that's every episode, but this one, the topic is a bit more loose. I just got done watching 1000 Players Simulate Civilization Rich versus Poor. It's pretty popular. It's kind of trending on YouTube right now and on TikTok. And although some parts of it were a bit cheesy and it was fun to watch, it reminded me of good art. The kind of stuff where when it's over, when it's finished, you're like, whoa, I got to see that. I got to be part of that. Think about your favorite movie. When it ends, you have this sort of emotion in you. You're like, dang, it's over. Especially like those standalone films where it's like, oh man, I really wish I could interact with these characters in more ways. I wish I just had more. It leaves you yearning, not just wanting, you yearn for it. And that's good art. But good art also knows when to end, right? For example, cinematic universes, uh, if handled incorrectly, I think the current big one, the MCU, is kind of losing its sauce. It was a cultural titan. You could not go a month without talking about the MCU or hearing about the MCU in a positive light. You could not go a week without someone being like, yo, did you catch that movie? Yo, like, isn't it crazy how Iron Man did this? Are you Team Iron Man? I am Team Iron Man. But, um, you know, it had such a grip on culture that it was insane. Now, you only really hear about it in negative ways, or, MCU is dead, blah, 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 this, that. That's how you know the thing has been going on for too long. When something has run its course to the point where you're just like, eh, I don't really care about it anymore. It's gone too long. Assassin's Creed should have ended at Origins. If they stopped making games after Origins, I think everyone would say, wow, what a great franchise. On average, solid. Few games really missed the mark, but boom, amazing series. I wish I had more of it. You need to be able to leave the viewer, the person interacting with the art, wanting more, right? But you can't flood them with so much that they drown in it. You know, a good meal is only good until you are satiated. After you're full and someone offers you more food on top of that, you are repulsed at that sight. You like, I don't know if this is just a case for me, but if I'm full and I see someone eating food, or if I see someone even talk about food, I'm just like, oh, get away from me. And it's the same thing with art. It's about balancing how much you give and how much the people can take. You know, um, economics talks about this too, where it's a satiation good. If you look at indifference curves, um, after a certain point, people stop getting utility from that item, and the indifference curve uh, should be in the shape of a parabola. So then the vertex of the parabola is like, boom, that's the golden spot. If you do more, disgusting. If you do less, it's manageable. And it goes the same for art, right? You have these artists who are dropping album on top of album on top of album, like for a year. It's too much. Your fans won't like it. Then you also have people who drop every 5 years, and it's mid. Not naming any names, but it's important to kind of know how much you give, right? Going back to the Marvel thing, it's not that the quality has changed, because some of the newer movies have hit the mark that the old ones have. I think Thunderbolts was a great example. I think uh what came before Thunderbolts? Forgettable. That's how bad it is, you know. I want to say it was Captain America, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, then yeah, I don't even know. If you had asked me in 2018 what Marvel movie, like the order they came out in, I would have been like, yeah, it was Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Thor, The Dark World, Captain America, Avengers, just boom, rattling them off like an insane person. I'm pretty sure I messed up Iron Man 3's release. But you get the idea. Another thing is like, I feel like movies and music is the most like prominent thing. Call of Duty, another example, just came into my head. After Modern Warfare 2019, I thoroughly believe they should have switched to a 2 or 3 year cycle. Um, Quality over quantity. The game would be much more cherished. You know, it's exclusivity is not the right word for it, but it is making sure that you are not putting out slop and you're not being overbearing. That's just how it is. If these videos that I was making were an hour and I dropped one every day, I doubt anyone would care. At least to my knowledge. If they are this long and no one cares, then I gotta figure that out. But these things take testing, right? I don't know if clothing has the same saturation because fashion comes and goes so often. But things like movies really do that. I think just like you gotta manage that because when it's good, damn, is it good? Think about it. If Marvel stopped making movies after Endgame and that was it, it would end them crazy. It would be like, wow, you remember when they were able to pull that off, 20 something movies? You would not, you wouldn't stop talking about it. Even more so than we do today. Because it is still a big feat. But if they had stopped right there, boom, done, finished, amazing. Another example being like Gravity Falls. They ended, I think it's 2 or 3 seasons. It's done. Viewers want more. They give small things here and there. But it's also important to understand that the integrity of the show and the integrity of the art is from those seasons, right? SpongeBob should have ended at like season 5 or something. I know a lot of people say like first 3 seasons of a movie, that's it. I think there were still some quality episodes after uh, the creator of the show left. I'm forgetting his name, but they should have ended it a lot earlier than. I mean, I see no end in sight. Simpsons, same kind of goes for that. It's like these long running things, there is a dip in quality after a certain point, and you realize, wow, if I had just stopped right there, boom, it's perfect. You know, you just, you will learn to cherish it because it's over, right? Um, it is so important to understand that things like the ending of one's life allow us to cherish life. Knowing that this is not going to happen one day makes me realize, oh, I should probably savor this moment. I should be appreciative of the closet I'm in and the phone I'm recording this of. Because one day I'm not going to have that. And I think it's so important that art feels that same way. Art is based on life, right? Art should end at some point. I mean, if you think about it, The Simpsons has probably outlived a couple people. It's kind of an insane thought. But yeah, I think, moral of the story, things that have endings are better. They always are. Because you learn to appreciate them for what they are. So keep making art. Just know when to stop.